We know that animals in human care respond to hand gestures with behaviors that have been linked through operant conditioning. Given the interest in cognitive abilities and cognitive stimulation as a welfare outcome for animals in managed care, DCP is continuing a study whose roots date back more than 2 decades. The goal is to understand if bottlenose dolphins and killer whales can respond to 2D or 3D symbols that represent specific trained behaviors, and then to examine how the animals respond to 2 or more symbols presented simultaneously.
We saw the 2Ds, and we're doing the same thing with 3D symbols. So, for example, a teddy bear or water bottle, and we're going to present them the same way, so either vertical or horizontal. And we'll see if there is a difference between the 3D and the 2D for them. So they started KO on 3D, and they're going to move him to 2Ds, and it's the opposite for the female. They started her on the 2Ds, and she will move to the 3Ds. So we'll see later with the result if there is for them a difference reading 3D or 2D.
Et après, dans un second temps, une fois que l'animal a vraiment compris le comportement qui correspond à chaque symbole, on va pouvoir lui présenter plusieurs symboles à la fois, comme ça, en les mettant bien droit, avec le panneau soit dans ce sens-là, soit dans ce sens-là, en laissant par exemple pour le cœur. Hop. Et on va toujours faire ce signe de départ. Et à lui après de voir justement, ce qui est intéressant, qu'est-ce qu'il va faire. Est-ce qu'il va faire les deux en même temps? Est-ce qu'il va faire celui-là en premier ou celui-ci? À voir comment il va pouvoir possiblement lire les formes qu'il voit devant lui.
The difference in the symbol is quite literally that the 2D is flat and the 3D has depth. As it turns out, some animals easily understand the 3D symbol request, but might not really get the 2D request. This may be because they live only in a 3D habitat and have never been exposed to 2D shapes or objects in their environment.
The research that we're doing here at Marineland with the killer whales is part of DCP's overall project looking at how animals think. And we're doing that by looking at reading. So the animals are taught symbols, and those symbols stand for certain behaviors, and we want to see how they do those behaviors when offered a choice between multiple behaviors.
Aide-le avec la main. Go.
On était très contents de lui, l'apprentissage n'a pas été facile, mais ça a été un grand challenge pour lui et pour moi-même. Et l'apprentissage, ça a duré à peu près 2 ou 3 ans. Et on est très fiers d'avoir participé à ce projet avec Keio.
You know this one too.
Another of DCP's research sites for this reading study is the Roatan Institute for Marine Sciences, where bottlenose dolphins work with trainers to understand a variety of symbols and connect them to a particular behavior.
So smart. So Bailey knows, a solid 9, and then going on to her 10th and 11th one. What we could do, once she knows all 11 solidly, then we can line them up like next to each other. So I could have hula and let's say the whistle, like this, right? And now she has the option, which one is she going to read? She's gonna read hula or whistle, or which one is she gonna read first? Whistle on the right or the hula on the left? So it's gonna be seeing how she's thinking and which one she's going to choose, or is she somehow gonna do both at the same time, like hula and whistle at the same time, which would be really interesting to see. So that's one goal that we're trying to get to see, when they're going to read first, right, left, and if we're going to do the symbols together or the behavior together. So that's the next step with all these symbols. Yeah.
If we're doing cognitive research with dolphins, we have to devise tasks which are interesting for them. It's the same thing as if we're doing research with 1.5 or 2-year-old children. We can't make them do anything, so we have to devise a task that that the kids want to do, that they find to be fun and enjoyable. And we have to do the same thing with dolphins. So when we're trying to figure out something about how they cooperate or how they solve a problem or whether or not they recognize themselves in a mirror, we have to devise situations in which the dolphins are interested in the task, and so it becomes a stimulating situation for them.
The greater objective to this research is to examine how dolphins think, to begin to understand how dolphins cognitively process visual information provided to them in a written form versus gestural cues.
Ready? Breathe. Deep breath. Good. And good. Good job, Bailey. Yeah, you're so proud of yourself, aren't you? Give you a big handful for that.
Cognitive enrichment is a really important aspect of living for these animals, and tasks like the reading study and other sorts of things is a way for them to challenge their minds.
DCP's been conducting this reading study for about a decade. It has now expanded.
Woohoo!
There are multiple dolphins and multiple trainers participating in this research, and they are still learning. Participating in cognitive studies like this one is very enriching to the animals and important for their overall well-being and positive welfare. It is also the only way that scientists can ask these questions. Having enriched animals displaying healthy behaviors helps guests to connect more with the animals and care more about their conservation.